afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Friendly Differences 2.0. I am your outspoken host, Dread Empath, and with me, as always,
Solid Blue Sister.
and on today's show, we will be talking about far right Christian indoctrination. Hmm. So, let's jump right into it. Because as of late, we have been having an issue with right wingers trying to indoctrinate not only right wing ideologies, but Christian ideologies. Solid?
With this, I always go back to separation of church and state, and that's how it was supposed to be. But now we have, the church consistently, and it's usually the right, the far right or the conservatives. They've always, trying to push their values, into society. And the indoctrination thing, I think it's so funny when someone like Ron DeSantis says, we're indoctrinating our kids. What he means is we're indoctrinating white kids to listen to stuff like slavery and everything else. But right wing indoctrination is dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. And it's something that has been going on for a long time, but absolutely so ever since 2016.
I agree wholeheartedly. You see, a lot of people try to say that President Obama created the division between right wing and left wing, when honestly, the division was already there. You see, all we would have to do is go back to them making paper mache nooses with Obama hanging. And Obama was very, very vocal about being a Christian, but they were so worried about his middle name being Hussein or something like that, and they swore up and down that he was a Muslim. Whereas you'll have these same right wing conservatives say that Trump is a man of God, and he referred to Second Corinthians as 2 Corinthians, and when he was asked about what was his favorite scripture, he didn't want to get into it, and that was just Trump saying, "I don't know the Bible." Now they have an issue with, the LGBTQIA plus community trying to indoctrinate children. But let's really look at what indoctrinating means. Indoctrinating means persuasion, brainwashing. A lot of times they, what do you call it? Uh, I'm sorry, guys, I'm drawing a blank. They kind of isolate. They isolate, children, because that's who they go after. I think a few months ago in Texas, they were talking about having the Ten Commandments posted in every classroom. Is that not religious indoctrination?
I mean, but Dred, the thing about it is with Texas, I'm glad you brought Texas up because Texas is a state that has I can't remember the name of it. I want to say it's a it's a cell phone company. It's a right wing cell phone company. I want to say that it's called the Patriot something, and they have
Mm-hmm.
pretty much taken over a particular county in Texas in terms of how their schools are going to be being run, and they want more Christianity taught in school. But when you look back at right wing, it goes. We can even go further back to um, President Kennedy because he was the first Catholic. And a
Yes.
lot of right wing people, a lot of Republicans did not want a Catholic president. So once again, it's like the right wing always comes up with something that we should not have. But this indoctrination thing, it has gotten out of control. Um, and it's going to get worse. And I read yesterday that more and more people are homeschooling their kids because they're sick of it. It's not so much they're sick of the curriculum; they're tired of the politics within the curriculum, which comes with religion. So at this point, I have always said, that history should be an elective. Now, since I homeschooled my son since from fifth grade on up, I say everybody keep your kids at home. Just homeschool them if you're able, because that indoctrination is out there, and it's not from the left. It isn't. It's from the right.
Well,
And if
I
you don't want,
always,
no, I'm
yes,
just going to say one other thing, that if you don't want your kids to learn about LGBTQ, take them out of class for that particular time. You don't want them to learn about slaves, take them out of class for that particular lesson. But don't make everybody have to
don't make
learn
it
what you think is Christian or what you think is right. Because everybody have to remember, everybody in this country, they're not Christian. Everybody does not have the same religion. There are kids going to school who look different from your child. Everybody is not the same. So let's not cram the same thing down everybody's throat.
I'm going to tell you why the far right Christian indoctrination is dangerous. We all are seeing it on the news every day.
Mm-hmm.
Palestine versus Israel. And once again, I believe we spoke about this. All we have to do, you see, first of all, when you don't remember history, or when you try to whitewash history or rewrite history, it is doomed to repeat itself. All we have to do is go back to September 11, 2001. What happened with the propaganda from the far right Christians? You had Muslims, Black American Muslims, and I know this because I was brought up in an Islamic household. My father owned an insurance agency. He had to walk Muslim women to their cars because people had it in their minds that because a few group of Muslims was responsible for 9/11, that all Muslims as the collective was bad. But see, here's the problem. If it had been a group of Christians who did the same thing, then they would have been yelling about, oh, you guys are going to persecute us for believing in God. It's a strong hypocrisy. And while we're talking about Christian indoctrination, we would have to talk about when it goes from belief to cult-like behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Then we would have to take a trip to the Mormon church, where, and I have nothing against polygamy. Love whoever, however many people you want. But when we fall into the realm of them now indoctrinating children, marrying off children, and having unspeakable things done to children, all in the sake of a belief, that's when it becomes dangerous.
Okay, but they're taking that, what they're doing to children, but the narrative is LGBTQ are doing this to children. Pedophiles are doing this to children. The left is doing this to children. Hell, they're still saying that Hillary Clinton has some porn thing up under some pizza place. I mean, just, and you look at how ridiculous it is and how people sound. And it's just so, I mean, it's just so dumb. So they're using the LGBTQ and they're blaming other groups so they can further their agenda. And that's why pushback is extremely, extremely important.
Well, you see, you have to remember that most of these politicians, one, they keep their eye on the bottom line, which is the almighty dollar. But all of them are demagogues. Mm-hmm. All of them are going to cater and pander to the emotions of whatever base they want to appeal to. Evangelicals, white Christians over the age of 50. Of course, these are the people they're going to pander to. Excuse me, folks, it's that time of year.
Okay, so
it's the left.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Well, let me ask this. Do you think that when conservatives, and I'm not just talking about the far right, I'm talking about the people who are in the middle.
Okay.
When they talk about the indoctrination of children, Do they mean? Because I do believe that that's what they mean, and they know is what they mean, but they won't say it. It's not the indoctrination of all children, it's the indoctrination of white children that they're concerned about.
But see, that's just it. They do mean the indoctrination of white children, but black people are jumping on the bandwagon too. You see, black people do the same thing. See, the fastest way to get black people on your side is to yell something about gay people. For instance, Candace Owens, okay? The shucking and jiving princess of the Republican Party. She was at a college recently talking about transgender and everything else. And somebody asked her a question and she said, dude, life is hard, wear a helmet. I'm too pregnant for this. You were too pregnant to answer the question that was being proposed to you, but you weren't too pregnant to come over there and spew your hateful negative rhetoric towards the transgender community. But guess who jumped on the bandwagon? Black people. Oh, all of us. I actually read this in the comments from black people. Man, Candace Owens looking kind of attractive now. Oh, she's looking kind of attractive now because she's not talking about black people. She's talking about gay people. She's pandering. She's trying to get that vote for the Republican Party. So the LGBTQIA plus community will always be the scapegoat. Gay people, transgender people, black people, and children. You want to get a base to follow you, you get 4 of those things, and you got something. And that's what right wing does.
Okay, so I am going to, yes, Candace Owens does have an ugly spirit. Okay, so I'm going to do a little dumpster diving with the right wing stuff. Do you think that Clarence Thomas has been indoctrinated, or do you think that he was always like that? I mean, was he the little black child who always pandered to the white kids on the playground so they wouldn't call him the N-word? Was he
I believe.
So he was not indoctrinated. You understand where I'm trying to go with this? It's like,
I think you're saying whether it was learned or whether he was just, or that was just him from the
that. Right.
I couldn't say.
Okay, because I go so far as to watching his with Anita Hill, and I remember when his confirmation, was put on hold because they had to go through this trial with Anita Hill, and just all of the stuff that came out that he said, about her, that other people said, yeah, he said it, yeah, he did it, but they still confirmed him, of course. But it's like this man has a history of putting down black people, putting down black women. He marries a white woman. Okay, fine. You want to go marry a white girl? Go ahead. But he has a habit, even before his wife, of putting down black people, mainly black women. So that's why I say, was it indoctrination where someone kept drilling it into his head? Or like I said, was he that kid who always just wanted to hang out with the white folks because if I hang out with them, they're not going to talk about me to my face?
You know what? You have it's so hard to say because you have some black people who just feel like if you can't beat them, join them. Like Jeffrey Mead on TikTok. JJ has dragged him. Thomas the Villain has dragged him. I'll get around to dragging him. I will, because he deserves it. But he correlates with that right wing way of thinking. And from what I hear, his mother is total opposite. Very pro-black, very militant. So does he see this is not working for her, so I'm going to move on over here to the conservative side? Because There's money on that conservative side, solid. I guarantee if you and I started speaking a little bit differently on the right, and I mean we go far right. If I could you imagine if I was a gay conservative, a gay black conservative woman? We would have
Okay, but look at Diamond and what was her sister's name?
Diamond and Silk, something like that.
Something like that. The ones who were on Fox News until they got dumped by Fox News, you know. And then at her sister's wedding, she still, I mean, Diamond still, whichever one of them passed away, I can't remember. I mean, at her funeral, she's still getting up there making political speeches and what have you. Um, you know, it's like this in indoctrination thing. It goes. It's more than just children, like you said. It is us too. It's grown folk. It is some of everyone. But why won't people wake up? I mean, even now you have the former guy who occupied the White House for 4 years, now involved in so much crap, now involved in so much stuff where you would have been better off not running. You could have still been doing your shady stuff. Even now, you see people are being arrested and going to jail left and right because of January 6th. But this man who you voted for, this man who you worship, you know, is, I feel at the end is going to spend at least one day in jail as a convicted felon. One day,
No,
whatever, but he will have the title of convicted felon. That is what I personally think. But people still run after him. I mean, why? I mean, literally, I mean, the indoctrination has just is so. I mean, it is so tight with those people.
Indoctrination is generation. Period. Think of it like this.
It is. You're right. You're right. It is.
You have, okay, think of a small rural town. Population 5,000. Everybody knows everybody. This family is married into this family, that family that married into this family. Everybody knows everybody. And this one rural town shares one idea or a culmination of ideas. They're Christian. Man, woman, family. This is the way of life. And let's just say this town was established in 1850. We are now in 2023. So you have well over 170 years of indoctrination.
Mm-hmm. You're right. You're right.
170 years of mother, father, sister, brother, whatever, family. This is it. This is it. This is it. Everybody in this town watches Fox News. Everybody in this town watches Alex Jones. Everybody in this town listens to the same thing. And suddenly, one day, one person says, well, wait. This is what the Bible says. I know that the Bible says man shall not lay with man, but what about the part where they said love one another? Do not judge your fellow man. Take the plank out of your eye before you take the splinter out of your neighbor. And then that person is met with ridicule, disrespect, being demeaned, being ostracized. And then one day somebody says, you know, Dad, I don't think I like girls. I think I like boys. And his father beats him to a pulp. Mm-hmm. That's how indoctrination, that's how ideologies are passed down from generation to generation through fear. This is what you do. And now think of what I said. That's a rural town of 5,000 people. Now think of 50 states of different towns scattered around. Certain states are certainly, they have that mentality. and they continue to pass that ideology down, that we're the bad guys because we're saying, hey, be who you are, just don't hurt anybody. They're the bad ones because they're trying to take away our way of life. Their fear fuels the fear that keeps going generation to generation.
But look at how incredibly sad that is. I mean,
I agree. How were you brought up? What did your parents teach you about people growing up in Chicago? What were you? What did you grow up around?
I grew up. Okay, first of all, my parents were as different as night and day, and again, how they stayed married for 60 years is something I'm still scratching my head on. But um, my mother was part of Operation Breadbasket, or as Jesse Jackson had said, the Rainbow Coalition, which went through several things. She was part of the Black Panther movement. My mother was very, don't let a white person talk to you like that. My father was more, okay, but if everybody just gotta love each other, and we all have to kumbaya, and let's all get along. Even though my mother was saying the same thing, that we're all the same, blah blah blah. But my mother was like, if they do something, you slap the crap out of them. My father was like, well, if they hit you, you don't necessarily have to hit them back. Just call us, and we'll go up to the school. And he was that person.
Okay.
But at the same time, it was like we always knew where we came from, and they always told us that be proud to be Black. We're fortunate to be Black. We were the chosen people. That we have so much strength and what have you. And to turn out to be someone like Candace Owens or Clarence Thomas, my parents would be rolling over in their grave right now. They would be like, just what the fuck? We did not raise you to be like this.
But let me ask you something. Do you think it would be easier?
I'm sorry, do I think what is easier?
Do you think that it would be easier
to be white or
to join the right wing side?
You know what? No. No. No.
No.
No. I mean, in terms of what? I mean, if all of a sudden I, started voting, red, and got on the bandwagon with them, it wouldn't be easier because again, they still be calling me the N-word. They still would find something wrong with me. They would, they would accept me to an extent. So is that easier? I mean, is that what you want to do? I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think that it would be. I think it would be harder because I think the people on the other side, people who look like me who are not far right would look at and say, damn, Solid, what are you doing? I mean,
you see, I find that some of the people who look like us are right wing and they don't even realize. They're very right wing. They're very pro. They don't even realize that they've been indoctrinated. They think, because I said this to somebody on my Facebook page, he got very pissed off. I said, I refuse to be told how to think by someone who lives their life by a book. Because as of late, everybody likes to take pot shots at the spiritual community. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't believe the Bible, but y'all believe in tarot cards or crystals and this and that. And I said, okay, so you believe that everything in the Bible is correct? Yes, really. Slavery, misogyny, child sex slavery, all of that. That's all in the Bible. That's in the book that you believe in. And what I try to tell people is there is nothing wrong with saying, hey, certain things in that Bible is wrong. Just like certain politicians are wrong. For instance, I didn't like what, and hey, I might get some blowback for this. I did not like what Obama did to Muammar Gaddafi. That was a slaughter.
It was.
That was a slaughter. When you were just shaking hands with this man at the White House in 2009.
But he was able to get out of that because he was able to say that his own people, Muammar's own people, were the ones that killed him and did him in. And
let you in on something solid. Muammar Gaddafi, first of all, they were getting ready to cripple the US dollar and the euro.
Yeah.
Because their currency was going to be gold. They were getting ready to cripple us. They could not have that happen. Come on, that was a slaughter. But see, here's the thing. I am not so indoctrinated with the voting blue or whatever that I cannot say this is wrong. And that's where the indoctrination becomes dangerous, because these people, they distort reality between right and wrong. You just think, we have people who think that what happened at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, oh, well, that was, they got what was coming to them because they were going to hell anyway. You see what I mean? That they think that human beings going out for a night out deserve to be shot and killed by a madman because they sleep with somebody they don't agree with. That's where it becomes dangerous, when people stop thinking for themselves. And like you said, it's not just kids, it's grown people. Jim Jones. We all know the story of Jim Jones. How many people did he kill? What did he kill? Like over 900 people in Guyana?
Yeah.
Indoctrination.
Okay, so then I have to say, to going back to Jim Jones, over 900 people. And then he had people who were shot at the airport when they were trying to run away and get onto a plane, whatever. But you have to look around and you look at those people who were running away trying to get on a plane. Did they all of a sudden that light bulb went off? They're looking around going, well, damn, if I drink this Kool-Aid, I'm going to die. Let's try to get out of here. So you look at the other people who are drinking the Kool-Aid and the ones who start drinking it and then they die and they kill over. Why am I still going to drink this? Why am I still going to drink this knowing that I'm going to die? Because no one wants to die. I mean, there are some people who they'll die for a cause and they'll say, I'm not afraid to die, whatever. Well, yeah, but deep down, you are.
Really wants to die.
No, nobody wants to die. I mean, how many people are going to the electric chair or going to get the what is it when they walk in? When they doing that green mile, whatever. You may be saying all this stuff, screw you, whatever. But I guarantee you, when they sit down in that chair, they crying for their mother. Nobody really wants to die. So why are you drinking the Kool-Aid? And as much as the right likes to say that the left that you're sheep, you're this and this, I just shake my head because I'm like, the sheep are you. Look at what you believe. Look at all these people who watch Fox News and watch Tucker Carlson and Hannity and all these other people who were showing one segment of January 6th where they did that filing in when they went to the Capitol. They were, very calm, whatever. Y'all weren't showing what the world was seeing outside. You all chose to show something else, but you all, oh my God, why are they talking about us like that? Because that's the only thing you chose to watch. That's the only thing you wanted to believe. Who's the fool?
Right. And see, we can point to quite a few indoctrinations that did not end well. Does anybody remember Heaven's Gate? Heaven's Gate cult. That's
the one where the FBI, they blew up the house or something.
No, you're thinking of the Branch Davidians.
Okay.
That was, you have Waco.
Okay.
That was Waco with the branch. You have Waco, Ruby Ridge, standoff at Ruby Ridge. That was first. You have Waco. That was the Branch Davidians. Then I believe it was the Heaven Gates cult. All of those.
Okay. Yes.
The people who had the nice jogging suits on, they were leaving their vessels and going to. Anyway. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
All religion indoctrination.
Yeah, they committed mass suicide in 1997.
There you go. There you go. And remember what I said. It was all like in a span. It was all in a span. So that's why it's dangerous. When it becomes a threat to people's life. Now, okay, the Heaven's Gate cult, they didn't do anything with children. But those the Branch Davidian, the siege at Ruby Ridge and Waco, it was loss of life. It was terrible.
Okay, but Dre, I'm gonna have to disagree for a moment when you say that it becomes dangerous when it's a threat to life, but it's dangerous when it's a threat to your mind, to your way of thinking.
That's fair. Yes, it is.
You know, because when you look at it, people like Greg Abbott, Ron DeSantis, and now this Mega Mike, who was ridiculously voted in as the Speaker of the House, it's like you're dangerous because you're indoctrinating a whole new generation of children, and we are seeing this whole new generation of white children to be racist, to say that black people don't matter, to say that Native and indigenous people don't matter, that Latinos don't matter. It's no big deal. I mean, it's like you're indoctrinating a whole group of people to grow up to be like you, to be racist. And we're seeing that because you have high school kids, even grade school kids, who are going to school, calling people the N-word, um, thinking it's funny to go blackface, putting a noose around their neck, trying to act out the Rodney King, the Rodney King and the George Floyd murders. You know, so they're indoctrinated to grow up to have spawn. I'm saying spawn. I'm not saying children. To have spawn of people who are going to be just like them and just like their grandmothers and just like their great grandmothers. And that's why when I think about what Kimberly Michael said when she said, "I don't want to be like my mother. I don't want to be like my great grandmother." But that's the indoctrination that we have now, that they're raising kids to be like your grandparents.
Like I said, it's generational. Certain things are just passed down. For me, for instance, my great grandmother, my grandmother, they were, I don't understand where this fiery spirit of mine came from, because they told the line. They were not meek or weak, but they, you know, but they taught us, y'all are just as good, if not better, than anyone else. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know where it came from, where I was like, nah, I'm not going to take shit from white people. I'm not going to take shit from black people. I'm going to speak up for what's right and what's wrong. And see, here's the thing with the religious indoctrination, it is downright scary. Because
it is.
When you start indoctrinating, you know, just the fact that in Arizona, they have ruled that they will not investigate claims of sexual abuse involving children when it comes to the church, that is an issue. When I found out that they have insurance that protects people from abuse claims involving children, sexual abuse claims, we got a problem.
Well, you know, I'm looking at this photo. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. But why are we in 2023 and we're still looking at people walking around in white capes, KKK?
Because America is not ashamed. That's why. Let me explain. First of all, anybody waving the Confederate flag is a traitor, because the Confederacy was the opposing side for us. So you're a traitor anyway. That's one. Number two, you're waving the flag of the side that lost. That was the side that wanted to concede from the U.S. for the sake of continuing slavery. But when I say that we are not ashamed, we are not ashamed. They still want to whitewash it. It wasn't as bad, so on and so forth. In Germany, they are ashamed. The
Yeah, they
Nazi
are.
flag
They are.
in
They
the
are.
Bible.
They are. And they also have
You
what do
do
you call?
that little sign that they do.
Yeah.
You could do. Yeah, two Asian people thought that it would be funny to go and do the little sign for Hitler. They uh they were facing 3 to 5 years in prison. They are ashamed of their history. They do not want to repeat it. There are consequences for waving that flag, whereas waving that flag here is just freedom of speech. Waving the Confederate flag is freedom of speech. There's a guy that lives not far from me. I can't stand that motherfucker. He has flag. He has a truck dedicated to flags. Don't tread on me. Confederate flag. F. Biden. Everything right wing and racist you can think of, he flies that flag. And every time I see him, I say, fuck you and them flags.
Well, you're right because, and this is one thing what you were just saying that freedom of religion is not freedom to discriminate.
Absolutely.
But that's how the right wing is, though.
Freedom for thee, but not for me.
Right, right, right. And then this is another one that this is another one.
Yeah.
Just the wait, hold on. There was another one that said, it was really mean. Hold on, where's the one I want to see? It was one where it said God, God hates. Just
Westerboro Church.
I mean, was that when that was Reverend Phelps, right? Okay, so we have a church here who's supposed to be Christian, yet you go to military funerals and you're ridiculing the veteran that was killed, saying that he deserved it. You go to funerals where the person who passed away was gay, and you're saying that God hates him and he's going to be condemned to hell, whatever. But your actions are not Christ-like. So what makes you have an entry to heaven? What makes you be the person who can tell other people what God is going to do? And unfortunately, this is what the right wing has done. They have purposely pushed their right wing Christian agenda on other people.
Yes, they have. And Phelps, the Westerboro Church. I mean, I love the fact that somebody bought a house across the street and painted it as the rainbow flag. I love it. But I was watching a documentary on the Westerboro Church, and so many of the young people are divesting. And what's sad is that they can't go home. They can't have any contact with any of their family because they said, no, I'm not going to be treated like this. And see, that's the thing. Even the young women in the Westerboro Church, they're not allowed to listen to any kind of music. I don't know how they are able to remix certain songs if they don't listen to secular music, but okay, I just exposed their hypocrisy there. But
Mm-hmm.
girls are not allowed to like boys their age. They're not allowed to put their hair a certain way. They control these young women and young men from knee high to a flea. That's where they look at this. They picked it in Matthew Shepard's funeral.
Yep. Yep. Okay. And then it says homosex is sin. Romans 1. Are you on the list? Fornicators, homosexuals, drunkards, potheads, cowards, and thieves. Well, let's talk about the fornicators for a moment. I can probably name half the people on Capitol Hill who are fornicators, both
Okay.
on both sides. Drunks, okay. So you gonna tell me that you've never gotten drunk a day in your life? So if you're a pothead, you gonna tell me that none of y'all have smoked weed? Not one of you all. Cowards. Let's talk about the cowards. There are a lot of cowards who hide behind they want to go and beat up people, and you want to put on masks and all the other stuff and say, yeah, you're a nigger and all this other stuff. That is a coward. I mean, all liars, murderers, adulterers, let's talk about the porno freaks, okay? And I purposely am leaving the homosexuals for the end. But let's talk about porno freaks. I bet if I walked into some of these far right conservative homes, whatever, y'all got your tapes up under the bed, up under the mattress. You got the link on your iPad and on your phone that you doing this at night, whatever, with one hand, because we know the other hand's doing. So I mean, I'm just saying. So let's go to homosexuals, okay? So what if you are, okay? And again, who are you to tell other people how to live? You may not agree with the lifestyle. I may not agree with certain lifestyles, but I'm not going up there talking about God's going to kill you. How do you know God is going to do that? Are you talking to God? Are you sitting there and he's saying, okay, y'all, this is what, I mean, seriously. I mean,
Listen, it's always funny to me how these people only use the Bible for evil.
mm-hmm.
Use it for good if
Mm-hmm.
they like you. If they like you, then they can find all the nice things in the Bible. And I always say, listen, I read the same Bible you did. So anything you can say to me, I can say to you. And I always ask them, especially when it comes to homosexuals, I just love to annihilate them. Leviticus. Have any shrimp lately? Have any crab legs? Have any pork? Well, that's the Old Testament. Yeah, so is the one about homosexuals. So let's move on. Leviticus is about loving and obeying God. You are not, I don't have to obey you. God did say I have to love you as my neighbor. But why do they indoctrinate hate? And that's what they don't get. That you are indoctrinating hate, you are indoctrinating just ignorance. Because they don't allow them to say, well, look, this is what the Muslims believe. This is what the Jewish people believe. This is what Buddhists believe. They don't allow that. If it's not my God, you're going to hell. And their minds are blown when I tell them, hey.
But they focus all of this, like that photo, you're focused on the Old Testament. Did you not forget that Jesus came to save all of us, to forgive all of us, to wash away all of our sins? See, they stick with the Old Testament. They conveniently forgot when they want to say that Jesus saves. You're right. Jesus supposedly came in to save everyone. So why are you not invoking the New Testament? Why are you stuck on the Old Testament and not the New Testament? And again, you're just a human being. You are a human. What makes you above everyone else to say that everyone's going to be doomed?
Because they feel as though they're doing the Lord's work, because the Bible does tell them to bring people into Christ's glory, to teach people about the goodness of the Lord, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody says, oh, thou shalt not judge. I'm like, that's not in the Bible. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. It says, if you must judge in a righteous way. For what you do privately will be judged publicly. And a lot of them, and I tell them, y'all are some of the most devilish people, because if we had cameras, if we had a glance into your home, into your phone, into your computer, you would be sitting right next to me on the roller coaster to hell with gasoline draws on.
Mm-hmm. I mean, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You're absolutely right, and this is why I'm saying, because again, we're all human, and they say those without sin throw the first stone. I'm sorry, I can't throw stones because we all live in a glass house. So who are we to, again, who are we to go to a funeral and
see, I always remind them of that story. I said, what did God say? He who is without sin cast the first stone. Everybody had to drop their stones.
mm-hmm.
And what did he say after that? Go and sin
no more? Mm-hmm.
And y'all go and sin some more. Here's the thing. I saw, what it all boils down to, people like, well, this is my child, and I can teach them whatever it is I want to teach them. Your child will leave your home, and they have to come into this world. And I look at certain people, and I'm like, okay, you follow this Bible, you've been so indoctrinated, fine. Would you take your child and throw them off a mountain? Would you kill your wife for being lustful towards another man? No. So why would you follow all of these things? Bible, basic instructions before leaving earth. Why can't you indoctrinate love, understanding, peace, fellowship, charity, so on and so forth? It's because it does not fit their narrative. They are catering to fear. Fear. Oh my God, my child is going to be gay. So, you got some rent money? Putting in for dinner? They don't realize that we're all human. But they don't see us as human.
Well, they don't. Well, that's because they don't care. They don't care. So, do you think that the left? Let's talk about the left.
Okay.
Is there indoctrination going on the left? Because there is.
It is. As much as I hate to say it.
It is. It is. And they see the left. They try to be sneaky about it, but they are. They are.
Go first with this one, and I'll tell you about it.
I look at people like Biden, who I did vote for. For me, it was the lesser of two evils. I was not voting for Trump, and voting, anyone else, independent, whatever, would have been a waste of a vote. Okay. However, I look at Biden, and I'm well aware of the racist comments that he made way back when. I'm well aware of some of the racist things that his first lady did recently with that one black basketball player.
Yeah.
Where she, when the white player did the same thing, and she wanted to invite the white player, and then she said, "Oh, let's just invite them both." No. I'm aware of some of the stuff that, even with Obama, it's like I was not an Obama fan. I was not liking Obama, honestly, until well into his second term. There were just things that Obama did that just, I'm like, seriously, just pissed me off. Clinton pissed me off. The only president that probably has not pissed me off in more recent times is Jimmy Carter. But I look at the left and I'm like, you all are just as bad. You all want the infighting among the races. You want us to pit each other against each other. But y'all do it more on a sneaky, sly, way to do it. But y'all just as bad. You all are just as bad as the right. And I'm going to say just as bad as the right for people who look like me. So I always have to make a choice. Am I going to go this way or am I going to go that way? I'm going to vote. I will never not vote. But I tend to go blue because red is just, y'all just out there. Y'all some crazy mofos. I mean, you are.
as a member of the LGBT community, I love my community. I absolutely do.
But is there a button there? I'm sensing a but.
Yes, it is. The transgender thing, the non-binary thing. Okay, you can be who you are all day long. But I saw something on TikTok. A transgender woman, a server called her sir. And to be honest, yeah, you don't look like you're fully transitioned. She asked for the manager in 3 separate places. And they're like, is she being a little crucial? Yes.
Wait. The customer was transgender or the server was transgender?
The customer was transgender.
Okay.
And when the server accidentally misgendered her, I want the manager. You see how this is going? It's disrespectful to me. Okay. I am a cisgendered woman. And when somebody misses these 2 sweater puppies, I have been called sir. I'm like,
I've been called sir. I've been called sir.
I'm like, I'm a lady. And I keep it moving. You ask for the manager. You might get somebody fired over something so minute. Like, okay, you want to turn your hole into a pole or your pole into a hole? I'm all for that. But please, can we just calm down now? Because you're making it hard for us to defend you. Here's another thing. And I'm going to say this because I ain't 20. I'm 37. And when I was growing up, little boys were little boys, little girls were little girls. Okay? Kids are fickle. Your 4-year-old might want to be a dinosaur on Tuesday. And by Friday, he wants to be Superman. And then by next Tuesday, he wants to be a Power Ranger. Just because your son says, I want to be a girl, does not mean that you put him in a dress when he is 6. I'm all for being supportive of your children, but please let them be children. Just like I'm saying it for the right-wing people who feel like, hey, when your daughter has her first blood, she can get married. No, it's wrong. And if I say it's wrong for the right, I'm going to say it's wrong for the left. We are putting too much emphasis on who these kids are going to be. Who gives a shit? They have plenty of time to figure out who they want to kiss, who they want to lick, who they want to suck, who they want to leave them be. Leave them be. They got plenty of time to figure it out. And I know that, if people heard me say this, they would be angry. Like I said, support your children, love your children, but we do not have to let them make a decision so early.
Okay, so having said all that, why do you think the left is supposedly supporting transgender rights, LGBTQ rights?
It's the hot button topic. At the end of the day, propaganda gets you paid. Whether you are for something or against something, it will get you paid. You cater to the right base, that base is going to vote for you. It's just a matter of which base is going to pay more. And honestly, the right wing is where the money is. Because anytime a person can choke a man on a subway and raise $2 million in a week on GoFundMe, oh yeah, that's where the money is. That's why Candace Owens is over there, Herschel Walker is over there, Clarence Thomas is over there, Webster Barnaby is over there, all of them. They're over there because right is where the money is.
Okay, right may be where the money is, but again, I say that's not where I want to be. That's not where I want to be.
That's because you're not willing to sell your soul.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. So what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to do in order to be on that side that doesn't want you? They don't want you.
I am willing to
I mean, this is what I'm saying. I mean, this is what I'm saying. I mean, neither am I. So this is what I'm saying. I mean, it's like, what are you willing to give up in order to think that you're accepted? You're not accepted. One thing I have learned is people on the right, mostly white people, they enjoy people of color dissing each other and talking about each other. They thrive on it. They are cheering Candace Owens on, not because of what she's saying, but who she's saying it to. The fact that she's a black woman and she's saying it to other black people. If she were to turn around and say that stuff to white folks, oh, how dare she say that? How dare she? See, it would be a whole different story, and they know it. And this is why I'm saying no. I mean, why would I run over to that side? You're not going to support me.
No matter. You would be considered one of the good ones.
Well, I just look at the indoctrination of this country as is something that if we don't get it together in the next couple of months,
Solid 2024 is rapidly approaching. I get the
like I said,
feeling.
the next couple of months.
Oh, listen, y'all. I believe 2024. Oh, these topics going to get a lot deeper and a
Yeah.
lot more controversial because
Hmm.
2024, y'all can mark my words. 2024 is going to look like 2026, if not worse. 2016. I'm sorry, 2016. 2024 is going to mirror 2016.
But we had a preview to 26 to 2016 when the Tea Party came out in 2010.
Hmm.
We saw what was coming down the pipe. Only it got worse when a certain person went down an escalator in 2015, talking about rapists and murders and thieves coming out of Mexico.
Hmm. I agree.
So I don't know. We are rapidly approaching our hour mark. We are ending early this afternoon, but Dre, I'm just going to say my last word is going to be the indoctrination is not just of children. It's all of us. It is a mindset, and if we continue to listen to this stuff, y'all just wait. White women think they're the protected person. Well, when affirmative action was nixed, believe me, y'all gonna start feeling it because affirmative action was not for people who look like me. It was for white women. So all these people who think that the right is the right is right, y'all just wait because pretty soon they're gonna come after you because what the right wants is power and control, the power and control for white men. And if you're not in that group for white straight men, and if you're not in that group, you better watch out because they are coming for you.
And the key to
Drip.
beating indoctrination is education. Do your own research. Read. Be uncomfortable because there are going to be things that you learn that make you uncomfortable about what you thought was true, what you
Mm-hmm.
thought was right, what you thought was wrong. There are going your research. Listen, ignorance being bliss. Oh, it's the truth. Sometimes I get down. I get so depressed because I learned so much. But you know what? I'm not willing to be blissfully ignorant, and I hope that you guys are.
Well, unfortunately, you have a lot of people who are willing to be blissfully ignorant because they're that every single day.
God bless you.
So you want to take us out, Grant?
Yes, I want to thank you all for joining us on this chilly Saturday. Of course, this one over here don't know nothing about a chilly Saturday because she all the way on the west coast. But I love all of y'all. Thank you for joining us. We will be back the same time next week. And as always, peace in the streets, you educate and elevate.
Peace.